Hi, today we're gonna have a double lesson. So first I'll show you the Artist Network tab where we analyze how artists is interacting with other artists, which labels they released on and how they collaborate with other acts on the Viberate platform. So this is a great resource, especially for label A&Rs if you want to check the artist's history, if maybe they already worked with someone from a roster, or their style in general. And then I'll show you a couple of comparison features. So you can compare artists or you can compare tracks. So let's get started. To get to the network tab, you go to the upper navigation, click on the drop down menu, and then you have it here under the templates. So this is the network tab. And we will start with the general overview. As with every dashboard on Viberate, we always start with an overview. You can switch the timeline here, and so let's switch it to 12 months to make it more interesting. You can see that Umek here released his tracks on 4 different labels, and he performed with 74 artists. This is his most successful collaboration, most successful release, and top artist mention, which was quite some time ago, almost a year ago. Top countries, those are not top countries where his fans come from, but top countries of artists he collaborated with. And then the artist connections. So here we're analyzing how artists are following each other, and we see that he has a little over 11,000 artists following him on Instagram and SoundCloud, most of them coming out of United States, Italy, and Germany. And if you want to know more who they are, you just scroll down, and then you have his artist followers ranked by their general Viberate popularity. So Moby is number 1, Flocka Flocka Flame, so he had a release with a couple of years ago. So they're all following him. This is great if you want to see if the artist has any of the big name followers, or maybe if you're looking at a DJ as we're looking at now, and if you're looking for someone to do a remix for any of your artists, you can see if those artists are already following each other. That would indicate some compatibility. Moving down, you have the notable followers. This is on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. And here it's important to point out that those are not necessarily artists. Those could be any influencers or actors or anyone with a notable follower base. In case this is an artist, we will of course match their profile. So here on Instagram, you can see that Hardwell is following Umek on Instagram, and that's why we linked his profile here. So if you want to know more about Hardwell, you just click here. But this isn't an artist. This is just a channel, Techno House Music, but they have 4.8 million Instagram followers, and that's why they're on the list. Why this is important and useful? If you want to engage in influencer marketing, and if you see that a powerful influencer is following your artist on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, and your artist has a new tour or a new release out, you can reach out to them saying, look, I saw you follow me or my artist on this channel. Would you like to get the release maybe a week before the official release, just to listen it, to comment on it? Or if you plan a tour, if you have a gig in your hometown, maybe you can invite them for a meet and greet in exchange for some social media exposure. So if you get, I don't know, a mention on Techno House Music with 4.8 million followers, this has some marketing value, definitely. Okay, then moving down. So when you get the mention, you will then see it here. So those are top industry mentions on different social media channels, in this case Instagram and TikTok. And then you can see which artists mentioned your artist and what was the content connected with that mention. Then moving down to top collaborations, you can see the features. So he had a big release together with Carl Cox, John Rondell, and yeah, so we have some basic stats for those collaborations here. And then you have label collaborations. So last 12 months or total. So, and then you have the label list here. So you have 10 pages of different labels, and you can rank them according to the number of tracks that were released. Of course, his home label 1605 has the biggest number of releases. If you hover on the total number, you get the last couple of releases, or sorry, in this case, the best performing releases on that label. Total streams generated on that label, and the latest track. So if you click on the latest track, you can rank them according to the latest release track as well. Then the artist collaborations. So artists are again ranked according to their Viberate popularity, and those are all artists where Umek has a release with. Again, you can rank them by the number of tracks or the latest track that was released in a collaboration. And then finally, sneak peek into the live performance. So those are the artists that Umek performed together with on events or festivals. So they were together on the lineup. Let's move to the compare feature. So on Viberate, you can compare up to 3 artists. Let's type in Umek. All right. And then, so we will already suggest artists that are similar to him in terms of popularity, in terms of the subgenre. But of course, you can select any artist you want just by typing their name. But let's select Enrico San Giuliano. And again, a suggestion of similar artists. And let's select Adam Bayer. Now we have all 3, and you have side-by-side metrics here. You can again select the fixed time frame, or just let's leave it at total, and then you have the total comparison. So you have select metrics, and then you can see, so this is the 100 index and comparison of the 2 slightly worse performing artists to the best performing artist in this comparison. So just as a quick overview, this is more than enough if you're maybe thinking about which one to book or sign to your label. You have a quick comparison here. An interesting use case for this is for promoters. So oftentimes promoters will always have fights with agents requesting more prominent billing for their artist. And if you're a promoter, if you want to fight off those heated conversations, you can just put all the names into the performance report comparison feature and just make the billing based on this. And this is quite easy to defend. So if you get a call from an agent, so yeah, my artist needs more prominent billing, you can just say, look, based on the stats, this is your artist compared to other artists, and there are 2 more prominent artists, so maybe better luck next year, or I don't know. And then you have a trend tracker. So here you can add up to 5 artists and just compare different metrics on the same timeline. So you can select Spotify streams, listeners, followers, YouTube views. You can remove artists here or add them here. And then the final comparison feature, tracks. So you're probably familiar with this metric from the artist profile, where you can compare different songs for the same artist in the same timeline. But in this case, you can just type in any track from a database. It doesn't necessarily have to be from the same artist. So let's select Die With A Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. And you can see as soon as it was released, it just skyrocketed in terms of streams. So I have Miley Cyrus's Flowers, which is a slightly older song. It's actually, a year and a half. So it already faded away, but this you can see, of course, it just went straight to number 1. So let's switch to how many playlists have it. Yeah, this is a typical case. So in this case, Miley Cyrus Flowers has a better result because it has been out for a much longer period of time. Let's see YouTube views. Yeah, we also have Shazam's, radio spins, and you can select the time frame here as always. But the best benchmark has always been Spotify streams. So yeah, that wraps up the session. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, subscribe, on my YouTube channel or follow me on LinkedIn. Take care.